We are all states at once, so you may as well not get in your own way. I think the things that stuck out to me here from the books are We Are No Longer and We Are Not Yet from Heidegger, We Are Nothing That Aims to Be a Solid by Satre, and Virgil Abloh, Making a Shirt in 30 Minutes. I'll start with Virgil Abloh and then get to the philosophers. So with Virgil Abloh, again, a lot of people it's a very human concept to kind of be more held up in the plan, be more held up in the idea space than the actual doing of the thing. And sometimes that process can feel at the moment gratifying because it does feel like you're doing something. It feels like you're telling people what you want to be doing, but you're not actually doing the hard work of the thing. And we all know it when you see it. It's, you know that the discomfiture that comes through a practice. But specifically, when I wrote that we're all states, what I mean by that is that if we take Heidegger's state or point seriously, that we are no longer and not yet, Heidegger is basically making the point in Being in Time that we are creatures in time. We might index ourselves on the present because the present moment is the moment that's being lived, but we are all of the actions that we've taken in the past and all of the actions that we're going to do in the future. And we're no more any of those actions than we are current actions. So I think that in a way is a form of mental freedom. It gives you the ability to say, hey, I actually do want to pursue this state of being more so than this other state of being, because it will allow me to feel motivated about myself, and it will allow me to learn something about myself. And that is kind of a reward unto itself. I think that, with Satre saying that we're nothing that aims to be a solid, this is a very kind of interesting statement of humans being this kind of liquid creature where when we're born, we're kind of the world is projecting images at us, and we are kind of reflecting those images back to the world. We're making the noises that we hear as babies. We're emulating our parents or imitating. And then after a while, we start to get our own identities. We start to develop our own mannerisms. And as we do this, we create our own cultures. We create our own ideas. I'm reading Malcolm X, A Life by Manning Marable, and I'm at a point in the book where Malcolm is starting to diverge from Elijah Muhammad, specifically his teachings in the NOI, because it's starting to not square with what Malcolm thinks needs to be done in terms of civil unrest and kind of group joint action in terms of making the image of black freedom that he has in mind. And I think that image is really interesting because, again, Elijah Muhammad actually teamed up with the Klan and the American Nazis at different points in the NOI history to create the black separatist movement. A lot of these people were actually on board in the Klan and the American Nazi movement. And I'm tangenting here, but I promise it's related, is that again, these are images that are kind of built from this external. So it's like when you see all of these states of this person that you could be, the person that you are, and the person that you were, we often get in our own way because we get invested in a particular state of being. We get invested in our, for Malcolm's case, his continued relationship to the NOI and how the NOI helped him get through prison, or for the case of, a creative person who's trying to get started, they might get in their own way by not actually being able to do the work because they're afraid of the work. They've already latched themselves to a particular image. But all of the states kind of exist, and time can be weird. And I think through relativity and a bunch of those other kind of concepts, there's a Magpiean kind of tangent that we could jump off here of kind of like what does relativity have to do with life, and then there's eternal recurrence and everything like that here. But I think for our purposes, specifically for talking about practice, specifically for talking about not getting in your own way, specifically for talking about Virgil Abloh making a shirt in 30 minutes, is just start. And the great thing to start on, perhaps, is focusing on the simplest aspect of the thing that you're working with. Poetry or an essay, that's a word as the simplest kind of atomic unit. You could say characters, but I don't think characters have enough meaning to be considered an atomic unit. For code, it would be command structures, so if else statements, for loops, method declarations, function declarations, variable initializations. Those things are kind of the things that create the simplest aspect. And if you can latch into the simplest aspects for 30 minutes for something like this video, it's creating this script. It's creating the simplest thing that can become the next thing. And I think that that's really important because, again, images are a means to an end. So if we give ourselves healthy images to practice against and to live against, we're more likely to achieve the goals that we set out for ourselves.